Welcome to Scranton, Pennsylvania, home of Beats, Bears, Battlestar Galactica, and the most influential television show ever created, The Office. Well, okay, maybe that honor is up for debate, but there's no doubt that The Office is one of the most memeable shows ever made. I'm Jacob with Cinematica, and today we're taking a stroll through 8 years, 9 seasons, 201 episodes, and almost $6,000 worth of classic Jim Halpert pranks and looks to the camera. Before we talk about season 1, though, we have to give credit where credit is due. As with most American things, it all started with the British. The Office UK edition ran for 2 seasons across the pond back in 2001 and starred Ricky Gervais, Bilbo Baggins, and that freaky pirate with the fork in his eye from the Pirates of the Caribbean. Really, we owe them all of our memes and respect. Season 1, which is 2005. But here in the colonies, The Office shook out a little differently. In the pilot episode, we meet our lovable new co-workers as they greet the documentary film crew that'll be capturing life at Dunder Mifflin. The Scranton branch of the paper company is managed by Michael Scott, a lovable but slightly off-kilter employer with a big heart and absolutely no filter.
Watch this. Here you go.
His straight-laced right-hand man is Dwight Schrute, assistant to the regional manager. Assistant to the regional manager. And completing the holy trinity of comedy is Jim Halpert, Dwight's arch-nemesis and Dunder Mifflin's most eligible bachelor. At the start of season 1, Michael's boss Jan delivers news. The Scranton branch is about to be hit with some downsizing. In the meantime, they'll have to introduce a new temp to the rest of the gang. There's Phyllis, Stanley, Creed, Oscar, Kevin, Angela, Meredith, Kelly, and Toby. You'll get to know these characters over the course of the video, I promise. We also meet Pam, the receptionist that Jim definitely has a crush on, and Pam's fiance Roy, who works in the warehouse. Just kind of a bummer for Jim. Despite this roadblock, Jim puts Dwight Stapler in Jell-O to make Pam laugh, and their iconic ship sets sail.
Put my stuff in Jell-O again!
Meanwhile, Michael attempts to quash the downsizing rumors while keeping the office busy with a racial diversity seminar that hasn't aged very well.
I have a dream.
A big secret surprise he never delivers, a birthday party for Meredith, and a basketball tournament. I mean, he's doing his best, people. It just takes a while for him to grow on you. Dwight takes over doing Michael's actual work, like picking out a healthcare plan, and this goes about as well as you can imagine. Jim and Pam wreak havoc with a list of fake diseases, and Jen from corporate gets involved leaking the downsizing information to Dwight. With their jobs on the line, Dwight, Jim, and Pam form a temporary alliance, and that all goes out the window for the basketball game, though. The office workers face off against the warehouse workers, and things get aggressive between Jim and Roy. Roy picks up on Jim and Pam's flirtation, and things get real messy real fast. Amy Adams makes a cameo appearance as a purse saleswoman who pushes Pam and Roy apart even more, and despite Michael and Dwight's best efforts to woo her, Jim is the one to take her out for a drink after work to nurse his broken heart. Season 2, which is 2005 to 2006. I feel God in this Chili's tonight at the Dundee Awards, the Scranton branch's cringy award show which opens season 2. Pam and Roy's 3-year engagement stagnates, but back at the office, things are heating up. Literally. A sexual harassment seminar goes off the rails, but gives Michael a new catchphrase. Say it with me now, and in the comments if that's your thing.
That's what she said!
Oh, and Ryan the temp starts a fire in the office. The downsizing, however, claims its first victim, Devin. Wait, who is Devin? Whatever, nobody knows. But from the ashes, the phoenix rises. Dwight drops the to the in his assistant to the regional manager title, giving him a leg up on Jim. Jim/Pam hit the back burner, while Michael/Jan goes full speed ahead once the pair spends a night together after a business trip. Michael immediately tells the whole office, bless his heart, which humiliates Jan, understandably. And there's gotta be something in the water at Dunder Mifflin, because Pam notices Dwight and Angela the accountant getting closer, and Jim tries to mend his relationship with Pam by giving her a heartfelt Secret Santa gift. On a booze cruise, Roy gets wasted and sets a date for the wedding without consulting Pam. Jim gets extra emo about this and breaks up with Amy Adams, confessing to Michael that he is still in love with Pam, which is a huge mistake. When has this man ever kept a secret in his entire life? Were you not listening to the last paragraph that I said? Pam finds out, and Jim plays it off as an old crush, but I mean, we all know what's up. Come on, Pam, Roy isn't supporting your passion for graphic design. Anyway, back in the weird world of Dwight Schrute, our favorite assistant regional manager has been thriving. Not only does he seal the deal with Angela on Valentine's Day, he's also named Dunder Mifflin's top salesman and shows some real backbone in an intense showdown against a child.
You can refer to me as Mr. Schrute.
Mr. Poop?
Schrute.
Michael isn't having as much luck, though. His attempts to diffuse tension by airing out everyone's anonymous complaints is a game changer. Someone complained about Pam's wedding planning, and she pins it on Angela, but it turns out Jim is the culprit. What a shock. Jim starts to consider a transfer to another branch after realizing how much time he's wasted pranking Dwight and pining after Pam. Everything finally erupts at casino night.
That's what she said.
Jan finds out Michael invited another woman, Pam finds out that Jim is in love with her, the two share a smooch to end all smooches, but Jim's transfer is already in motion. Season 3, 2006 to 2007. Wipe those tears, people! In the few months between Casino Night and the start of Season 3, Pam and Roy have finally broken up. Cheers and applause. But like, not too much, because Jim is out of the picture after his transfer to the Stamford branch, where he started dating cool girl Karen and befriended less cool Andie Nard Dog Bernard. Jim tries to make Andie his new Dwight with a good old Jello prank, but Andie's anger management issues get in the way. Without Jim to keep everyone somewhat in line, Michael and Dwight are running amok after Michael and Jan's breakup. Dwight stages a coup to get Michael's job, and Michael pretends to give it to him to trick Dwight. Michael holds a funeral for a bird, Dwight hazes Ryan at the Schrute family ancestral beet farm, and finally, Michael proposes to Carol, the realtor he'd been seeing, but she shoots him down. All in a day's work. Bet she thought we were done with the downsizing plot lines, huh? As if the season came out in 2006, right at the start of the recession. Jan tells everyone that the Scranton branch is shutting down and to be absorbed into Stamford, where Jim works. But Jim's bosses quit, so the Stamford gang is heading back to the OG office. Jim and Pam reunion! Just kidding, Jim tells Pam that he's dating Karen. It's a slow burn, my dudes. We're in it for the long haul. Speaking of slow burns, Michael and Jan wind up going on a last-minute holiday to Jamaica together. Jan wants a relationship, but she doesn't know that Michael has just leaked a revealing picture of her to the whole company. There's even trouble in paradise for Dwight and Angela. Dwight helps Angela cover when she forgets to mail some documents, and when Andie finds out, Dwight resigns to avoid exposing their relationship. Don't fret though, he's not gone forever. Michael is devastated by Dwight's departure and gets him back to Dunder Mifflin ASAP. Back in Jamland, which is what I'm calling Jim and Pam now, I don't know if that's their official ship name, but by God it should be. They're back to their old pranks, and one involving a very annoying ringtone gets Andie sent away to anger management camp. The whole gang heads to Phyllis's wedding, where Pam reconnects with Roy and later confesses to her first kiss with Jim on Casino Night. Roy flips out, they break up, and Roy gets a face full of pepper spray courtesy of Dwight.
Who's laughing now?
I don't know what it is with pepper spray, but between this and the last Stranger Things video we did, I think I need to get some of that. While dealing with the fallout of an obscene watermark printed on their paper, Michael considers breaking up with Jan and finds out he's in the running for a job at corporate. Michael preemptively names Dwight his successor, who in turn makes the recently returned Andie his number 2, and heads to New York, as do Jim and Karen, who are also in the running. In a dark horse victory, Ryan the Temp gets the job. Jan's job, that is, because she's just been fired. And Jim, who's just been told by Pam that she canceled her wedding for him, rushes back to Scranton to ask her on a date and remind the American population that love is real. It's too bad I'm Canadian, so I don't believe in love, apparently. Season 4, 2007 to 2008. Buckle up, Marty McFly, because Season 4 gets Dunder Mifflin flying to the future! Introducing, drumroll please, Dunder Mifflin Infinity, courtesy of Ryan the Temp, who is now Ryan the Boss Man. The little paper company that could is going to be adopting new technology. Ryan's grand plans for Scranton are somewhat thwarted, however, when his ex-flame Kelly tries to win him back with false pregnancy claims. Also, it's been, 20 seconds since the last Jam update, so where are we on that? It's official, Jim and Pam are dating on the DL until Toby sends out a no PDA memo. At least this memo won't be an issue for Dwight and Angela anymore, because the death of Angela's cat by Dwight's hand breaks them up for good. They both take out their frustration in different ways. Angela's mean to Phyllis, and Dwight decides to prove himself superior to Dunder Mifflin Infinity by selling more reams than it on its first day. I mean, we're all about healthy coping mechanisms here at Dunder Mifflin Infinity. Dwight's spiral into a depression doesn't go unnoticed by Jim and Pam, who've decided to spend a weekend at Schrute Farms. So what if Angela's now going on dates with Andie Nard Dog Bernard? In a truce, Jim opens up to Dwight about his experience with unrequited love for Pam, and for a moment, these enemies are friends. Also, Jim low-key says he's in love, and we all screamed, "Don't kid yourself and say you didn't, because I know you did." Speaking of love, Kelly is dating Daryl from the warehouse to make Ryan jealous, with mixed results, and Jan and Michael are still going steady. Jan's lavish, unemployed lifestyle pushes Michael to consider filing for bankruptcy, but apparently it's harder than just, saying, "I declare bankruptcy." For a while, things go back to normal. Pranks, bad behavior, not a whole lot of paper selling. Then, Jan sues Dunder Mifflin for firing her and brings in Michael as a witness, but Michael stays loyal to Dunder Mifflin, which makes their dinner party with Pam, Jim, and Dwight extremely chaotic. Police are called, covert granola bars are eaten, and Michael leaves Jan. In the final episodes of the season, Ryan's plans to move everyone onto new tech are revealed to be part of a massive fraud which lands Ryan in court. At Toby's going away party, Jim plans to propose to Pam, but his moment is stolen by Andie proposing to Angela. Good news, Angela accepts.
I said okay.
She said yes.
Bad news, 20 minutes later, Phyllis catches her en flagrant with Dwight. And baddish good news, Pam was accepted to a graphic design program in NYC, which means moving away from Jim for 3 months. And Jen tells Michael that she wants him involved with the baby she's having via sperm donation. Season 5, 2008 to 2009. The theme for Season 5 is double timing, because I have to speak twice as fast to get through the season with the most episodes, and because everyone's cheating on everyone else. Not Jim, though. That's right, Jim put a ring on it. It's about freaking time. But Angela plans her wedding to Andie while sleeping with Dwight, Michael blows off Jen to date Holly, the new HR rep, Kelly blows off Daryl to get back with Ryan, and Jim frets over Pam being in New York City and meeting other guys. By the end of the season, even Phyllis thinks her husband is sleeping around. But before that, we gotta talk about Holly, the human cinnamon roll, too pure for this world. She and Michael fell hard, but she gets transferred to a new office. Toby returns to take her place, but it's not the same. And speaking of pure, Jim buys Pam his parents' old house once she comes back from NYC. Sure, the clown photo is nightmare fuel, but it's about the gesture, right? Meanwhile, Angela tours Schrute Farms as a wedding venue and accidentally marries Dwight during a rehearsal. Maybe this is for the best, though, because Phyllis spills the beans about Angela's affair, and then Michael really spreads it around until Andie finds out. Dwight and Andie then both break up with Angela. With love in the air, Michael goes to chase down Holly and finds out that she still has feelings for him, although she's seeing someone else. Truly a trend. We go back to pranks and blind dates until a new boss arrives, 2018's sexiest man alive, Idris Elba, aka Charles. Michael quits to start his own paper company, bringing Pam with him and recruiting Ryan, who is returned as a temp after his fall from corporate grace. Down one receptionist, Dunder Mifflin hires Erin, and Dwight and Andie both go after her. The Michael Scott Paper Company enjoys unsustainable but impressive success after a few scuffles with Dunder Mifflin, and is eventually bought out, transferring Pam and Ryan back upstairs, this time with jobs in sales. They're just in time to catch the tail end of clashes with Charles and start a few fights of their own over the stolen clients. At the end of the day, Ryan is demoted to temp again, Charles quits, and Jam starts their next collab, Parenthood. Oh, and Kevin does the thing he does best and makes big pot of his Kevin's famous chili. And I think we all know where this is going. The floor. Season 6, 2009 to 2010. Things are looking up in Scranton with a new baby en route and Jim's recent promotion to co-manager, a title he now shares with Michael. The whole squad heads up to Niagara for the Jam wedding, where Dwight hooks up with one of Pam's friends, Michael connects with Pam's mother, and Jam ditch their own wedding to elope on a boat. By the time they get back from their honeymoon, Michael and Helene are dating, but only until Michael finds out that Helene is older than him and he dumps her. Business-wise, everyone keeps trying to undercut Jim's newfound authority, and Dunder Mifflin's profit margins are tanking. Michael learns that Dunder Mifflin is about to be bought out by Sabre, a company that makes printers, and he might lose his job in the merger. Sabre CEO Joe Bennett visits the office with her two massive hounds and forces Michael and Jim to give up on the co-managing pipe dream, sending Jim back down to sales. This is probably for the best, though, because Pam has gone into labor. While everyone in the office stresses over Pam's contractions, Andie finally asks Erin out, and Angela and Dwight draft a contract to have a baby of their own. Oscar from accounting sets up a party to flirt with Matt from the warehouse, giving Michael a chance to connect with Donna, the bar manager. Everyone seems to be making romantic progress, until Dwight reneges on the contract to pursue Isabel, his fling from the wedding. Angela eventually gets lawyers involved and they work out a, settlement. Meanwhile, Michael finds out that Donna is married and slowly works up the willpower to break up with her. Then one of CEO Joe's goons lets on that Sabre printers catch fire and the news spreads like chili on a cheap rug. Joe tries to find the leak, but pretty much everyone in the office had let the news escape in some way or another. So Michael volunteers to take the hit and do a public apology for the news crew. As thanks for Michael's help, Joe casually mentions that she can look into getting Holly transferred back to Scranton. Season 7, 2010 to 2011. Guys, we're now 7 seasons in, and I can't remember if we've ever seen a sale of paper products take place here. I mean, who's got time for that when there's inter-office gossip to discuss? Andie's still trying to woo Erin, but she's warming up to Gabe instead, a Sabre representative installed in the Scranton office. The office continues to expand, adding Daryl from the warehouse to the sales team, as well as Pam's old fling who poached their clients. Meanwhile, in Dwangela land, yeah, they're the new Jam. Look, they can't all be winners. Dwight discovers that Angela has voided their contract settlement and started flirting with other people. But don't worry, love isn't dead. When Holly returns to fill in for Toby, Michael finds out that she and her new boyfriend AJ are on the rocks. The couple decides to take a break while Holly's in Scranton, and it only takes 2 more episodes for Michael and Holly to get back together. And then 2 more episodes until they decide to get married. Boy, they sure move fast over there. But wait, Holly's moving back to Colorado to be with her family, and oh my god, Michael Scott's moving with her! Does that mean we get a new regional manager? Oh, you betcha! So is Dwight finally getting promoted? Well, yes, but actually no. Enter D'Angelo Vickers. D'Angelo really gets to know the staff at Michael's last Dundies award ceremony, which Aaron uses to break up with Gabe and Dwight uses to protest his snub. Michael attempts to leave the office early to avoid painful goodbyes, but when has he ever been good at espionage? Jim cried, Pam cried, I cried, you cried, we all cried.
What a great boss you turned out to be. Best boss I ever had.
It was like time stopped. With Michael gone, D'Angelo's favoritism rears its head and he pays the price, injuring himself during a basketball game. Dwight is appointed interim manager until he accidentally fires a gun in the office, prompting Joe to demote him and let a few other office members handle finding a new hire. Daryl, Dwight, Kelly, and Andie all apply, and Gabe's feud with Andie over Aaron boils over, getting Gabe sent back to Sabre headquarters for good. Aaron tries to pick up with Andie again, but he turns her down. Nothing makes sense anymore. At the end of the season, Angela comes in with an unexpected twist. She's engaged to a state senator, but everyone guesses that he's gay. Dwangela will have to wait because things just got political. Season 8, 2011 to 2012. We soon learn that both Angela and Pam are pregnant, leading to a lot of emotional highs and lows when a man named Robert California is shuttled through the ranks at Dunder Mifflin Sabre, first as regional manager, then to CEO of the company, leaving behind Andie as regional manager. Robert sets his expectations high, and Scranton scrambles to meet them, even when the whole warehouse team quits after winning the lottery. With Dwangela on the back burner, Andie and Aaron continue to run in circles when Gabe returns to town. Andie reveals he's had a new girlfriend for a while, and Aaron is sent into an unrequited tailspin for the rest of the season. Andie has his hands full, though, when he accidentally hires Robert's wife despite being asked by Robert to keep her out of the office. The story gets out, leading to a blowout divorce between the couple. Pam gives birth to her baby boy Philip, and Angela also gives birth to her baby boy, also Philip. Oscar does some math and realizes that Angela had to be pregnant before she married the senator. He tells Dwight, who rushes to the hospital, to personally affirm that the baby is his. Dwangela lives. When everyone returns to the office, they find out that Sabre will be opening a new store. A posse travels from Scranton to Florida to compete for control of the store. Aaron decides to stay in Florida, prompting Andie to drive down and win her back. When they get back to the office, Andie finds out that he's been replaced and his anger management troubles resurface, getting him fired. While Andie tries to get his job back, Dwight does a DNA test on Angela's baby, and the two reunite, which is good because Angela's husband is now hitting on Oscar. In a shocking comeback, Michael's old boss David buys out Dunder Mifflin Sabre, reinstating Andie as regional manager, saving them from Joe's plan to liquidate the company and keeping the show on the air for one last season. Season 9, 2012 to 2014. We soon learn that Kelly and Ryan have both moved to Ohio for unrelated reasons, and that Dwight is not the father of Angela's baby. He's got two new office members to babysit, though, Clark and Pete. They bond with Jim, who's joined a new business venture outside of Dunder Mifflin and is considering moving his family to Philadelphia, which destabilizes his relationship with Pam. Oscar, meanwhile, is busy destabilizing Angela's marriage by having an affair with her husband that backfires when Angela recruits Oscar to figure out what's going on. Angela enlists Dwight to have Oscar assassinated, which almost succeeds, especially without Jim there to keep everyone alive. Jim's in Philadelphia setting up his new company and bringing Daryl along as an early hire. And his absence puts a big strain on Pam as she juggles temporary single motherhood with a new mural project in the warehouse. Meanwhile, Andie's bold drive to Florida is not paying off. Erin's been getting closer with Pete over the last few episodes, and she breaks up with Andie to be with him. Around this time, promos begin airing for the documentary made about their lives. Remember the reason the show started in the first place and has been the whole framing device of the entire show? Anyway, everyone freaks out over the prospect of all of their dirty laundry being aired out in front of an audience, and also, they're still shooting the documentary, even though it's clearly already gone through post-production, and it's finished, and it's about to be screened? Question mark? It forces some big realizations, and Andie decides to quit selling paper and become an actor. With his job open, Dwight finally ascends from assistant to the regional manager to the coveted regional manager job. And Jim decides to stop splitting his time between Philly and Scranton and goes back to Pam and his kids, taking a step back even as his company with Daryl starts taking off. After Angela's husband comes out as gay on national television, Dwight proposes and the two finally plan the Dwangela beet farm wedding we deserve. Oscar reveals that he's running for the Senate, Ryan and Kelly return separately and leave together, and Michael makes a surprise appearance for a heartfelt toast telling Jim and Pam that he's now happily married to Holly with 2 kids. After the wedding, Jim returns home to find that Pam has sold the house so that they can all move to Austin and support Jim's new company. When they go to quit, though, Dwight fires them so that they can enjoy a generous severance package instead. The entire office completes a final exit interview now that the documentary is aired, and we end the series with Pam's beautiful painting of the Scranton branch building that she gave to Michael. What a ride. Once again, I'm Jacob with Cinematica, and thank you for watching The Office Timeline. Be sure to subscribe for more videos like this one. I'm not sure if after recording this, I either want to work in an office, or if I never want to set foot in an office ever again.